How's it going, people? xSalmonSlapperx here, and yeah, carrying exactly from where we left off is just doing the main story and picking up a bunch of quests. And we will actually be handing in all of these quests as well, so you'll see the rewards at the end of it. But yeah, well, that's pretty much the game plan for this one. So remember rightly, we gotta go down to the fishing guild. And I'm pretty sure there's a quest somewhere around here I can pick up from what I read. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Fair play, still gotta try and get used to this place. It is a bit different from Gridania. Guess I gotta go around. Oh, you just want to pick up one? Pick up the wall. Fair enough. And there's one in here for me to do. Good times. Treasures of the main. So we've got to escort Sissy Poo over to some kind of lighthouse. Do a bow. This is the emote tutorial, similar to what we had in Gridania and Chunky. So yeah, pretty straightforward, nice and easy. If you don't know the actual commands to type in, you can use the mini menu on the right hand side to do it. It's not much difference, just saves you from typing. So easy enough. So I'll cut until I'm outside, I think. Save you from watching me travel. Catch you in. On my way out, I come across this bloke. He's literally just outside the Adventurers Guild. If you turn right through the west exit and go down the little ramp, this little munchkin is hiding underneath. So that one's actually worth doing, as you get a nice new armor, which you can use on, I think it's a Cyclone War of Magic, Hemben Akaton, or Akaton. Yeah, either way. It's a body piece. So yeah, I haven't actually shown what the outside of limsa lominsa actually looks like yet. So, as we're escorting this little tarot, or Lalafell, down to the lighthouse, I guess you can have a little gander around. But it has this exactly the same as the escort mission we did with those little nippers in Gridania when we went to see the mules for the first time. It's exactly the same thing, just random mobs will spawn while you got to escort the Lalafell without her dying. Really, really easy, straightforward, and basically introduces you to combat again if you haven't actually gone out and stabbed stuff in the face yet. Nice and easies. But yeah, some of you are wondering probably what the version 2.0 update that I keep mentioning is all about. Well, I haven't actually really covered it properly yet, so I thought I'd do this while we're doing this little escort mission as much as possible. Basically, on release of Final Fantasy XIV, because pretty much everyone just had a little pissy fit and saying it's crap and all that, they've gone and fired or relocated the original manager to another position, and I think he was working on the new FF13 instead, and now you got Naoki Yoshida has taken over, and he seems to be doing a pretty good job. I'll shut up while this is going on. So as I was saying, Yoshida is now taken over, and everything seems to be working a lot better now. It's up to, I think, version 1.22 at the moment, which has added in a bunch of primal battles, changed the UI and a bunch of other stuff to make the game run better and look better. But 2.0 is scheduled to come out in November/December. And from what they've actually said, they'd be doing all the updates. They're actually perfectly on time at the moment, so it's highly likely it will be out on time. And at the same time, PS3 will be released on the PS3 and re-reviewed. And 2.0 will be launched at the same time. And it'll be thrown into beta, so everyone will have another month free. But yeah, 2.0 actually has a hell of a lot of stuff being added and edited, fixed, however you want to put it. There's a humongous list. I'd highly recommend going to the Loadstone and reading it yourself, as there's something like 4 PDF files plus a massive actual web page with just them speaking about it. For some of the things for under the category of character, they'll complete redesign of character creation screens and process, so the way you make your character and stuff is going to be completely changed. They'll also be adding Mikte males, which is the cat people males, Highland Heroes, which are a different type of human, and Rogadin females, so Chunky Monkey's misses. And that should all be out on 2.0. They'll also creation of more customization for your characters, so different hairstyles, a lot more options to change your look, things like that. The ability to walk and view your character in-game environments and use emotes as part of the creation process, so you can actually see what it would, well, kind of get a glimpse of what it would actually be like playing as said character, which would actually be really nice, as all you've got is just a standing character. They're also going to be expanding the armory, focused on classes and jobs prior to version 2.0, so lots of new armors, weapons, things like that will all be released up to and continuing after 2.0. Jobs to progress by clearing quests rather than gaining XP. So, for example, on Final Fantasy XI, if those of you who played it, you had the Genkai limit. I'm assuming that's what it means when it says quests instead of gaining XP to level, as you had to do the Genkais to continue leveling. Either that, or it could just simply be you must do the quest to get AF pieces, maybe. I don't know. So next on the list is the user interface. It's going to be completely redesigned interface for 2.0, which is currently underway at the moment, and we haven't got any more information than that. I haven't seen any screenshots or anything. So yeah, can't really go too much into that. The customization of both your gamepad, keyboard and mouse and keyboard configurations, that's already on there, but I'll assume they'll be adding a bit more customization options just to make it that much easier to use. Global standard for MMO UI when using the mouse or keyboard to navigate in-game windows will not require a manual for explanation. So basically just making everything straightforward and easy as hell to use, like most MMOs. As it is kind of, well, I don't mind the UI at the moment. It's actually really easy to use in my eyes, but it can get quite annoying and tedious at times. There's just windows that don't necessarily need to be there. They'll also be adding a drag and drop functionality for item names, or you can toggle icon displays and things like that for your gear within the interface, so it's a lot easier to search through. They'll also be releasing a mannequin system, so you can put a mannequin into your house, or inn I should say, similar to what you had in Final Fantasy XI, and then you can equip a full set of gear on that mannequin, and all you have to do is simply click on it and you'll instantly switch to that gear. Not really useful as such, but still nice to have. Gear equipped to your mannequins won't take up any of your inventory space, which is quite a massive thing if you've got multiple jobs at high level and you need to keep all the gear as you keep switching in between. That will save you a hell of a lot of inventory space, as there isn't technically a bank or a storage space for you, other than some AF items, for example. You can also gain more mannequins and stuff via quests and battle content. That's all coming in 2.0 apparently. For markets, they're going to improve the search function and release of auction houses and features and measures to stimulate in-game economy after patch 2.0. They've kind of put that in and out. You can actually use a search function within the market boards, which is actually really useful. There's a few annoyances with it, but it is actually really easy to use once you've done it a couple of times. They're also going to be completely redesigning the markets into a system incorporating retainers and auction house elements, which is all planned for 2.0. Enemies, enemy leader and group systems to be removed before 2.0, which I'm assuming they've done already because I haven't really noticed it, unless it's just in certain spaces. I know one NM I come across the other day when I was partying with Drago was like one massive boss and then loads of nippers. I'm assuming that may be leader and group, I don't know. Enemy call for help system released in patch 1.19, causing nearby enemies to link when called. That's already out and actually kind of makes you be a little bit more careful, as if you're attacking something which is slightly higher level than you and you decide to be a moron and attack it when there's loads of others around it, they will link together and start raping you sideways. Release of a system to calculate enemy strength based on party size and members level. Enemy call for help system to be adjusted. New summoning abilities available to certain jobs and classes after version 2.0. New taming ability available to certain jobs and classes after 2.0. Release timing of the above abilities is to coincide with additions of new jobs and classes. Summoned and tamed pets will not count as party members and will develop over time. Release of a companion system for these pet NPCs to fight alongside player characters. So kind of Beastmaster summoning, the traditional Dragoon when you had the Wyvern. They're all likely to be coming out when 2.0 gets released, which would actually be pretty amazing because I did kind of like Beastmaster and summoning. Yeah, I'll shut up again while this goes on. So yeah, as I was saying, also add in incapacitation of body parts for boss fights, encouraging party members to focus on single targets for more engaging battles. So for that, for example, well, I don't know, let's say whatever the boss you're fighting has got a sword and shield. If you keep attacking his sword arm, eventually the shield may break off or something like that, which would actually be pretty cool. Add a bit more to boss fights. Items, they'll continue to examine the system of items within FF and how to use them slightly better. Legacy items will have unique graphics and stats, and they'll also be introducing legacy items, so well, I'm assuming that's kind of like the relic gear maybe from Final Fantasy XI, which are kind of like the super mega weapons of Doom. Obtainable only by players fulfilling certain attribute requirements after first applying for them. Requirements for obtaining classic items as well as their graphics to be altered in further updates. Appearance of items already obtained will change, and all this is planned for version 2.0, and further details will be announced at a future date. For in-game areas, they're going to completely and utterly redesign all of the non-instance areas for version 2.0. So pretty much the entire top world will be completely and utterly changed. I'm assuming they're putting it back to how it was in Final Fantasy XI, where you had certain zones. They're planning to convert all dungeons into instanced raids. Release of Content Finder, see below, to help players find groups quickly and easily. 2 new dungeons to be added, which have already been added now, and more to follow later on after 2.0. Release of treasure maps to be discovered by disciples of the land, planned for 2.0. And maps to reveal locations of chests and dungeons. Dungeons to be new content designed for a combination of all classes from every discipline. For the main storyline, they plan to release a feature to replay cutscenes that you've already experienced and gone through. All this is planned for Activision 2.0 due to cutscene requiring retouching as part of the completing other overhauls of in-game maps. In-game voice and all 4 languages, that's Japanese, English, French and German, all to be added for 2.0. And they'll also be adding an entirely new storyline, the 7th Umbral Era storyline, to give way to new storylines after version 2.0. They're completely and utterly overhauling the battle system, so enemies claiming systems, where if you attack an enemy first then someone else attacks it, you still get the drop, for example. They're going to be changing how all that works, and loot rights for parties, things like that. I'll show while this is going on. So, additionally, there'll be balancing and release of crowd control system with a firm control over status timers, which would be sleep, paralysis, blind, things like that. They'll also be changing and adding new algorithms to the combat system. 2 PvP venues will be added, the Colosseum and Front Lines, which are to be released in 2.0. Unique areas to be created, so as it's not to affect non-participating players. Release of PvP specific abilities, gears and ranking system, and support for multi-party alliances for large scale content to be released together with the above. So for example, a 64-man versus 64-man massive PvP battle of Doom, which would actually be pretty cool. And then because of that you could also add in instances similar to Dynamis and stuff from 11. So that would actually be very, very good. So edits to synth, basic new recipes, and continue to add more recipes, including new rewards, things like that. New high-end recipes to have high levels of difficulty, not only in terms of recipe complexity, but also crafting location requirements. For example, be able to make it, you may have to go to an enemy stronghold and use the facilities there to actually make it. So it could actually be quite a bitch to make some of the best gear. This is going to be editing the materia system, which is kind of like socketing gems or adding additional stats to gear. So for example, you could add like +5 vit or something like that. That's what the materia does at the moment. They'll be adding more and changing it. Release of an item notebook after version 2.0 to log all the recipes and crafted items for consolidated easy viewing. So making something quite a lot easier. There's something on there already now, which is actually really useful. And they'll also be releasing a signature feature on 2.0, enabling you to put your name on every item you craft. So for example, when someone buys it, it'll say like Hempenagaton made by, and then it'd be Angulondo if I made it, for example. I'll shut up while these lot are talking. Hi, where was I? So yeah, after the synthesis, let's cover a bit of gathering. They're going to be releasing a item notebook for gathering classes such as mining, botany and fishing, which will give you a bunch of information on the level of the item and maybe where to find it or where you found it previously. They'll also be releasing treasure chests that may appear randomly at gathering nodes, so when you cut in a treasure chest it might just pop up next to you. And chests will also be able to yield those treasure maps that they mentioned earlier, and they'll only be able to be viewed by Disciples of the Land. They'll also be adding in a company system, which is 3 companies, which there really isn't much information other than it can be formed with as few as 4 players by submitting an application to a grand company. 3 company specific content will earn you points used to improve company rank, gain access to personal estates, perform cooperative synthesis, and it's basically just going to be a humongous update, that one. So kind of like, I don't know, guild houses, I suppose, or guild halls, whatever you want to call them. Additional mounts. Chocobo mounts have already been released. Future plans include Chocobo gear, rearing, battle, mounted content and shared Chocobos to be released sequentially after version 2.0, and also plans to release other forms of transportation. So for example, you've seen that Gabu before. I'm assuming that's probably one of those alternate transportation. Although you've got airships and things like that, you'll probably add some more things similar. But yeah, you'll be having like Chocobo breeding and mounted content. I'm assuming must be like actual fights on your Chocobo, things like that. Does seem pretty cool. For communication, release of a delivery system and mail system. Delivery system to enable sending of items to save houses and other players. Items can be sent to other players regardless of their online status. Mail system to enable sending of short in-game messages to other players. Messages can be sent to other players regardless of their online status. PC search function to be completely overhauled and search UI added with a various function, such as free companies and stuff like that. They'll also be releasing a content finder system after version 2.0. Content finder will allow you to input information such as class, job, level to find another player across all worlds, so that's all servers and things like that. For groups and for dungeons, instant raids, primal battles, anything like that. And further details will be released when they become available. The achievement system is going to be changed to recognize and reward accomplishments in battle, synthesis, gathering, and a bunch of other things. Release of additional achievements will continue to grow in future patches. Various types of achievement rewards such as tiles and items. And planned release of initial achievement system to be on patch 1.20, which came out a while ago. And there's well over 300 achievements there at the moment. So yeah, I expect that to grow more and more and more. And of course they'll be adding all new content on top of all this, which are, for example, new primal battles, summoning system that rewards the ability to summon primals to free companies that defeat them. Campaign of battles against the Dragon Horde and the defense of Ishgard, with participation possible as any of the 4 disciplines. 2 massive forms of PvP, which we mentioned earlier. Large-scale instance raids of the Crystal Tower and the Vast Labyrinth. Wandering Odin Primal, who grows in strength and drops greater treasure with each defeat. Further details on all the above to be released in the days leading up to 2.0. Odin sounds awesome. Imagine you're just casually running along on your low-level job, then all of a sudden Odin pops up. But what you don't know, he's already been killed like 7,000 times, and now he's just turned into this elite badass that no one can ever kill. Gotta admit, it does sound pretty cool. So yeah, all in all, they're completely and utterly overhauling all the functions, all the synthesis, a load more options to actually customize your character and while making your character, changing how parties, searching and stuff like that works For example, you can now, well, when 2.0 comes out, you'll be able to search every single server or world, the entire world, like, to straight up form a party for whatever you want. Additionally, they'll be adding a hell of a lot of more jobs, an entire summoning section, including pets and stuff, which will allow you to use them to fight with you in battle. They allow you to incapacitate certain body parts of enemies to prevent them from using certain special attacks, for example. And yeah, as always, the massive storyline increase. They're changing all of the overworld maps, completely and utterly changing all of them, changing all dungeons into instance battles or areas. So yeah, a humongously massive amount of stuff to be released. On top of that, although I haven't actually mentioned it yet, they will be completely and utterly overhauling the way the graphics engine works. So the game will run a hell of a lot smoother and a lot easier. And best way to describe it is if you actually go to the Lodestone website, there's a little section for planned content and concept art, and there's a screenshot on there of what they want 2.0 to finally look like. And I gotta say, it looks fucking amazing. Like, unbelievably amazing. Yeah, that's pretty much 2.0 in a nutshell. A very small nutshell. But yeah, if you want the full details, then you should go to the Lodestone website. That's lodestone.finalfantasy14 or xiv.com. And just on the top left of the website, there will be a little picture there saying version 2.0 update. Just click on that and scroll down to the bottom, and you've got a bunch of PDFs you can go through, which covers pretty much all the updates. Yeah, it's pretty massive. I can't wait for 2.0 to come out. In fact, even without 2.0, I'm already loving this game so far. So yeah, if I love it now, 2.0 will make it a hell of a lot better. This game is amazing. But yeah, although I haven't mentioned it throughout all of this, I'm now currently finishing up all those quests you've seen me pick up throughout the video. And this will pretty much show you all of the rewards you get from it. You near enough get an entire set of armor, and it's your first upgrade armor as well, so you don't even have to spend anything to get your next set. Yeah, hopefully that kind of let you know what 2.0 is all about. It was only very brief like, but that should cover pretty much everything. Very loosely, but yeah. You should get the general idea of what 2.0 is. Yeah, as you can see, partway through this, I went from completing the mission at level 2 Conjurer, and all of a sudden I've magically become level 10. Well, that's the magic of editing. Pretty much I completed that quest and then picked up a bunch of lev quests, went out, shot stuff in the face, and then carried on finishing up all these quests. So, opening the map every time I go to the reward NPCs, just so you know what it is. Some of these quests you will need to be certain levels to pick up. But to pick up all of these ones in this video and throughout the entire video, I'd probably recommend a level of 8, at most 10, and you should pick up every single quest I picked up, and should get you the same sets I got. So there you go, there's the Hempen Acton. And that's what it looks like. Now, if I remember rightly, this should be the last one. And this bird's all the way up here in the Musketeers. Let's just talk to her. And it should be job done. Bit of a pot helm. I wonder if I can wear it. Yes, I can. Fair enough, I'll wear that. Suddenly, I feel like a Viking. Yeah, that's it for this one. I'll catch you all in the next part. Till then, later.